So we're set for hockey this afternoon in Stamford, Connecticut, between the Beauts and the Whale, as we get set to see the Whale clad in their white sweaters, the dark blue and green with white trim. They will skate from right to left here in this first period of play. Meanwhile, the Beauts are in the baby blue with the dark and white trim, and they are huddled around Nicole Hensley as we get set for some hockey. What should we expect here in the first few minutes between these two teams who did play a preseason game against one another?
That's correct. You're going to want to see the Connecticut Whale take more opportunities to show what kind of a team they're going to be this year. The preseason did not go in their favor. They were missing some key pieces. But we always see a physical, very high-octane style of hockey between these two clubs.
The officials for today's game, back to a four-person crew. Last year they worked with three for the most part. It's Trissy Langley, Kaylin Urkel, Kendall Hanley, and Melissa Doyle are the officials in the stripes down at center ice as we get set for the opening face-off. First time, or really first full season for this Buffalo Beauts squad under ownership from the Pegula family, who also own the Buffalo Sabres in the NHL, and they really have had quite a philosophy change, you know, from season to season.
Yes, we see that with Pegula Sports Entertainment, there are a lot of things changing with the Buffalo Beauts, how they approach everything from ice time to travel and really the business side of hockey. And when you talk to players, they seem to appreciate that.
And we're underway here in Stamford, Connecticut. The Beauts control the draw. Back to our left, here's Emily Falzer. Ahead for Corrine Bowie. One of the few that have played all four seasons in the NWHL, as it's Taberi playing it back in her own zone. Right now for Sydney Rusler, banked off the boards and through the neutral zone where Edney will chase it down with the icing waved off. Crowd still building here in Stamford, Connecticut. On your broadcast, it may look a little sparse. Actually, a ton of people really have made their way into the bleachers here along the near side. Here's Kelly Babstock with a quick shot. Loose puck in the slot. It sits there, and the Whale will play it out. Through the neutral zone, it is Melissa Sheeran playing it toward the corner. Sheeran, one of a number of rookies on this team, working it along the half wall. Emily Fluke looked to play it back to the point for Beatty. Danny Cameronese, another Team USA standout, chipped it out to center. And now Sam Donovan in number 32 for the Whale will drive the puck in. Beauts facing the forecheck. Here's Melissa Sheeran, pass out in front, the shot denied. Loose puck side of the goal and regained by Emily Fluke. Sporting the C on her sweater. And the shot by Beatty is knocked down in the slot and pushed wide. Cameronese in across the line. Pass out in front. Leg save made. Nice stop there on the first save by Mara Raisinen. As it comes out through the neutral zone, Sarah Hewson. She got fronted by Blake Bolden, the former Boston standout who played overseas a year ago back in the States. It wasn't expected for her to be in the lineup until sometime next month, but here she is on opening day. Minute 45 played in this first period, no score. Puck tied up along the near wing side. Sarah Schlensfire lost it from the point, and a shot in off the glove of the goaltender by Maddie Ilya. And back from the right point, a little one-timer by Bowden, who has a rocket from the blue line, and that was deflected wide.
That's right, former hardest shot competition winner.
I'm sure she'll look to try to reclaim that crown around All-Star time. It'll be in February. Beauts with the puck out at center ice as they look to play it in across the line. Here's Jordan Juron, and her shot from the right wing side, drifting wide. And Raisinen able to hold on for the stop with 17:35 to go in the first and no score.
We see Meri Raisinen. She gets that. There was a glove shot, though, that she wasn't able to secure. So she looked that one all the way into the glove.
Goldsmith on the draw. She wins the face-off from Annika Zaleski, who was the captain at Colgate University last season. Had a chance to watch her play the Bobcats up at Quinnipiac. Very solid player. Should prove to make an impact on this team from the third line as Baribeau looks to move it across to the right side to Berry. Got caught in the slot, catches up to the puck and hacks it out through the neutral zone. And now it's Falzer. Skates it in. Falzer working on Sydney Rusler. Back in the corner. Rusler, a very physical defender. able to kick the puck up along the boards, and Goldsmith will center it ahead. Here's Nina Rogers, the BU standout, shooting from straight away, and that was blocked by Emily Janiga. Also returning to the States after playing a season ago in the CWHL. Now here come the Whale from right to left along the far side. It was Melissa Sheeran trying to play it down. Ahead back to Beatty at the point. Now back toward the corner. Here's Sheeran again. Back to Beatty. Cross out for Shannon Doyle. Doyle along the blue line, looking for room with a wrist shot that got through. Fluke put it in on net. Another save by Hensley. Backhand try goes through the crease, and it's Corrine Bowie looking to get it out. Barely did. Doyle was offside, chipped that back in. The Whale, though, will touch up and make a change.
So far, we're seeing some pretty good offensive effort here by the Connecticut Whale.
4 minutes into this first period and no score. Puck along the far boards. Dug off the wall by Orlando. She gets stripped by Ilya, gets hauled down coming along the left wing side. So good work by Michelle Lowenheim, who, when everybody is healthy, and we'll give you scratches in a bit, will be skating as a forward, but the Whale are short on defense. She's on the blue line today. As Casorso from the right point has her shot blocked. There's Ilya out toward the corner. Sharp angle try. They were looking for Cameronisi along the right wing side. Danny Cameronisi played down the boards. And Maddie Ilya trying to center that pass. And along the near wing side, it's cleared out by the Whale. Sent through by Anderson. And we'll get an icing here with 15:23 left in a scoreless first period.
As you mentioned, Phil, Lowenhelm playing a little defense for the Connecticut team that has a few injuries for blue liners. She, of course, a product of the University of Minnesota Duluth.
It is Zaleski in on the draw. She takes the face off against Schwensfire of the Whale. Sarah Schwensfire, last season, 29 games. She had 38 points on 15 goals playing for Norwich University. Zaleski shoots it in behind the net. Here's Lowenhelm. Going to move it over to Orlando. Good work by the Beauts, working on the forecheck in behind the net. Lowenhelm, number 67 for Connecticut, as you're watching here on Cross Ice Pass. Looks to play that puck in the corner. Dug off the wall by Orlando. Banked up the boards. Held in by Bolden at the blue line. Hard shot that was deflected from the slot. Tipped off at a stick of Jordan Juron. And lifted ahead. It was off Sarah Hewson. Kept alive inside the Connecticut zone. Now along the left wing, it is Savannah Harmon. Tied up briefly and played along the far wing. Held in again at the point. Beauts looking to attack. Pitchfork back to the blue line. Here's Bolden. Bolden along the right side. Waffles one out. Lowenhelm gloved it down. Bolden tried to keep it in on the backhand. Puck comes out to center ice. Here come the Beauts again. We're across the line. It's Savannah Harmon. Puck is down toward the corner. Played by Janiga. Tried to drop that back off. And it's Orlando on the right wing side. Gets stripped by Kelly Babstock. It is strange seeing her in the powder blue, but wearing the familiar number 8. Drops it back to Bowie, and the shot was blocked away by Rysanen. Buffalo owning the zone for the moment. Here's Falzer. Play down the boards and toward the corner. Good drop pass. Janiga found by Kelly Babstock. Played around to the far wing corner. Pinching was Edney. Now it's Janiga. Gets cut off by Goldsmith. Holding in behind the net. Nearly turned it over. Nice little chip over to Lowenhelm. And the Whale play it out to center. And Bowie hauls down Lowenhelm cleanly. Loose at center ice. Here comes Emily Falzer looking and finding Maddie Ilya. She had Skamora, but coming over to cut it off is Orlando. And the Whale get it out through the neutral zone.
We're seeing that aggressive style of Buffalo hockey that we're used to, Phil.
They're big, they're physical. Not the case for Emily Falzer. Not big, but she's a fantastic puck mover, working with Sarah Edney on that second pairing on the blue line as Cameronisi tried to clear, held in. Rusler at the blue line, got one through in on net, and a save is made by Hensley. Cameronisi, cross ice. Now here comes Haley Skamora in over the line. Skamora looking for Ilya in front, shot, and they score. Beautiful pass across, and it's knocked in for a goal with 12:52 to go in the first. 1-0 Beauts.
You can see Meri Rysanen didn't like how she saw that puck. Thought she could have perhaps gotten that save there, but nevertheless, Buffalo gets on the board here in the first period.
So the goal comes at 7:08 of this first period. First goal of the season for Maddie Elia. She had 5 last year and 14 points. And Haley Scamora with the primary assist. 2 of the top 3 co-leading scorers on the team from a season ago. Courtney Kunichika, who also had 14 points for that team, is not on the roster, which was a bit of a surprise for a lot of people watching on today's broadcast.
Yes, no Kunichika. She was definitely a great player for the Beauts throughout her time, and I think they still have some roster space open. Never know, Phil.
So they give Scamora the lone assist on the Maddie Elia goal. We'll see if they add a second one later on as the puck is cleared out to center ice. Hannah Beatty is there, and she'll shoot it back in. And they do give Cameron Easy the other helper on that goal. She the one who started getting that puck out of the Buffalo zone, leading to the 2-on-1 attack. Puck along the near wing boards as Barabo will float that toward the corner. Rolls in behind the net because Sorso's there. Back to the right side. Beauts looks to skate out with it. Juron turns it over. Shot from the high slot. Rogers puts one in on goal, and a save is made by Hensley. Back straight away for Lowenjaw. Looks to get it through. Lobbed in high. Gloved down by Lisa Chesson. Back out to the right point. Orlando quickly to the half wall. The pass toward the slot. Juron takes it away for the Beauts. Looking to lead Zaleski up the left wing. She'll take it in across the line. Zaleski has just a lot of size. This whole Buffalo team seems to have that throughout their forward groups. She might be the biggest one of the bunch.
And as we mentioned earlier, they certainly use that to their advantage.
Zaleski listed at 5'10", but she seems to play bigger than that. There are a handful of 5'8", 5'9", 5'10 forwards in this Buffalo group. They love to play physical, bang the body around, get away with whatever they can in terms of the physical play, and they often do. In the far wing corner of the Buffalo zone, here's Savannah Harmon. Harmon was a 2-time captain for the national champion Clarkson Club. 2 years as a captain, 2 national titles, so some good experience on that team. 10:45 to play in the first period. 1-0 Beauts on the goal by Ilya as the pass toward the slot for Houston is broken up. Higa tried to clear and knuckles back to Bolden. Now out to the neutral zone. Skating along the left wing is Harmon, able to get it in. And Reisinen will play that back toward the corner for Shannon Doyle. Turned over to Cameron Easy with the shot blocked in front. Rebound, score! And that's Ilya's second with 10:21 to play in the period. 2-0 Beauts.
Maddie Elia, definitely a player right up there with Haley Scamora, the reigning Rookie of the Year, that made a huge impact for Buffalo in her time, and you see it again here today, Phil.
9:39, time of the goal for Maddie Elia, her second. Danny Cameronisi gets her second point in this first period, and now it's 2-0 in favor of Buffalo.
Reisinen just couldn't control that rebound, and then Elia gets it backdoor.
Well, the Beauts picking up right where they left off a season ago with that 12-4 regular season mark. Amanda Levier was so strong down the stretch. She was strong yesterday for the Minnesota Whitecaps, a 3-0 shutout of the Metropolitan Riveters. Cameron Easy from the corner, and the centering pass broken up as Anderson will chip it up the left wing board. Was cut off, and an icing is called on the early dump in with 9:53 to go in the period. It's 2-0 Buffalo.
As we look at this Connecticut team, Phil, I know that there's going to be a lot of conversation about the new goalies. We see Reisinen. We've got, from Russia, we've got, Sorokina. But I think the forward core on this team is really what's going to make the difference as the rest of the league has continued to get better in the offseason.
Just 24 goals scored by this Connecticut Whale team a season ago, averaging a goal and a half a game. And quite frankly, they're going to have to do better than that if they're going to get wins. I think everyone, including Ryan Aquali, Sydney Rooser, well aware of that. As Chesson with a blast from the point. Nice chest save made by Reisinen, and it's backhanded out of the zone by Sarah Husick. This is a bit of a shorthanded Whale roster to begin with tonight. Rachel Aid banged up. Jordan Brickner not in the lineup. She's banged up. Still waiting for the goaltender Sorokina, as well as also Katerina Morozova, who played last season at the University of Minnesota Duluth. So they are all out of the lineup today, and they're all expected to play major roles on this team.
Yes, the rebuild for this Connecticut Whale team did look to international talent and players that have played for national teams. And Randy Griffin also, excuse me, Phil, missing from the roster.
She's a healthy scratch for today as the puck is rimmed around the boards. Randy Griffin played for the Unified Team Korea Club in the Olympics, scored the first ever hockey goal in the Olympics for Team Korea, played her college career at Harvard, and had been out of school for quite a while, unlike most of the players in this league that are either right out of school or maybe just a couple years removed.
Yeah, no way to get back into hockey than at the Olympics after being out for a while.
It's trial by fire, right? You just go right in there, and you know, Korea obviously is the host country for the last Winter Olympics, a guaranteed club for all the sports. So it's not a long history. Randy Griffin gets a goal, which was historic in its own nature.
But if you talk to her about it, she says, you know, anyone could have scored that. It was just kind of a bouncing puck. But as you said, she goes
it, right?
Exactly. You know, maybe just being a little modest there.
Well, media timeout here with 8:19 to play in the first period. Meanwhile, let's take a look quickly at the scratches for the Buffalo Beauts. Jordan Burns not in the lineup tonight. Jackie Greco, both returning players from a season ago, as well as Taylor Acursi. She's out for today. And signed to the roster basically this morning out of Elmira College, Megan Bonforo at 36 points for Elmira College last season. She is also a scratch today, as well as Julie DeTondo, the third goaltender on this team. What kind of team do you have when you have perhaps the all-time greatest women's goaltender in hockey history backing up Nicole Hensley tonight and Shannon Zabados?
That does not bode well for the rest of the teams in the NWHL. You got to think that it could be a number of things. Perhaps just trying to test out to see who will be the go-to goalie. But, you know, if you're not getting it done with Hensley, and Zabadas is who you've got to go to on the bench, you know, forwards are going to have to get really crafty in the league this year.
Yeah, I would imagine, and I know it's game one, but a 16-game schedule. Coach Rick Sealing, Craig Muni, the co-coach, they will find ways to play both goaltenders. You have two Olympians. They need to stay active. That's a key part for their respective national programs. So they'll both play. Feel pretty certain it's not going to be Amanda Levier all but 20 seconds of the season this time around for the Beauts.
That's right. And before we get back to action, we got an update. The Whitecaps go up on the Riveters 1-0. Former Whale Amanda Boulier from Shipper, Kate Shipper, to get that first goal for the Whitecaps today.
And Harmon from the point, putting one in on net. And a save is made by Rice, and Boulier going to Minnesota. I believe the entire Yale coaching staff was dismissed after last season. Unfortunately, that meant no assistant coaching job for her in Connecticut, which likely then would have meant the return to the Whale had that still been on staff. So a tough break and away for the Whale, and it's Minnesota's game. Puck at the point, Bolden straight on to Harmon. Harmon from straight away lobs it, knocked down in the slot. As that was played by Sam Donovan, and now it's Emily Fluke. Back across to Tabiri from the right side, the Norwich University standout. Lobbed it ahead, knocked down by Emily Janiga, turned back the other way by Babstock. And along the near wing side, here is Fluke. Fluke, the Whale captain, will shoot it in from the near wing side with 7.5 to play in this first period. Fluke was the leading point getter on this Whale team a year ago with 11. And Sam Faber, who was the captain last season, retired, and a drive by Scamora looking to get one on the board. Denied, rebound, put her on net, and Rice in there, a nice sprawling leg save off the pad, and she holds on with 7:15 to play in the first. 2-0 Buffalo.
That was a good recovery by Mary Reisen, and you saw she got the first stop and then just couldn't hold on to the puck, and there were bodies in front, but she was able to make the adjustment and get that save.
Goldsmith wins the draw from Ilya. There's Doyle, drops it back off along the near wing side. As the Wales Barabo looks to play it over, gave it to Beatty. Out for the neutral zone. Beatty from the center line will dump it in, and Falzer will give chase with 7 minutes remaining in the first. Over to Edney now for the Beauts. She'll survey the ice, looks up, tries to feed it ahead, a bit too far for Cameronese. And it's Goldsmith gliding back for it along the near wing side. Shoveled across. Held in by Zaleski. Cameronese back with it. Has Falzer. A Team USA teammate thrown in the slot. This shot drifted wide off the stick of Zaleski. It was steered away by Rysinen. Gained back in the corner. Whale looked to get it clear. Kept in at the blue line by Edney. Good poke check there by Baraboo. Diving, though, is Edney to keep it alive inside the Whale end. And now Zaleski trying to center in the slot. It was deflected by Orlando. And over with it is Rogers, who drops it back toward the corner. Played ahead along the left wing. And out through the neutral zone, Casorso will go D-to-D for Chesson. And ahead to Iafallo. Out of Ohio State, Iafallo rips one high from the circle. And it rides up the boards. Taking it is Zaleski. Comes straight on, put it on goal, and a save is made by Rysinen. 2-0 Beauts with 6:03 to play in the first period.
Unofficially, Phil, they have the shots in favor of the Beauts, 14-4. Now, unfortunately, this is a trend we saw last season with Connecticut. I thought they started off strong, but now they're going to have to find ways to work from the defensive zone and get a few shots on net.
Well, the Whale did manage to outshoot their opponents a handful of times, but didn't pick up much. But now here's Emily Fluke. Fluke looking for a trailer, but good back checking there and taken back the other way by Emily Janiga. Tried to feed Babstock. It was a stride late along the left wing boards. On the half wall, the Whale looked to pass out. Held alive by Bowie. Kareen Bowie to the right circle. Fed to the slot, hit off the skate of Sam Donovan. And now here come the Whale. Lobbed high in the air. It is skated down, but Sheeran late. And an icing is whistled on Connecticut as it was Casorso beating her to the puck with 5:21 to go in the first.
Just got an update on the official shots on goal. We have the shots still in favor of the Beauts, but that's 10-4. It's unofficially on our scoreboard here as 14, but we have 10-4 as the official scoring.
And on the draw, controlled by Cameronese, played back to the blue line. Here's Harmon, lets it go, deflected high, and that was Scamora in the slot who got a stick on it. Now Maddie Ilya. Back to the blue line for Bolden. Drags a wrist shot through and cleared from the slot by Tabiri. Across to the right for Sid Rusler. Sidney Rusler along the right wing. Shot in from the center line. And right onto the stick of Blake Bolden. Leads it ahead for Scamora. And this line has been dynamite for the Beauts today. Ilya with both of the goals and a 2-0 lead with 4:55 to play in the first. From the corner, Whale regain it. Some nice stick work along the boards by Sarah Twinfire. Still on the near side, Casey Anderson digging in, trying to get that puck off the wall, but it's Ilya with it. Maddie Ilya in behind the net, around to the left point. And the shot was deflected, and Harmon's drive goes out of play with 4:34 to go in the first period.
So far, again, we just have to see Connecticut really be able to get that puck out of their defensive zone. The Beauts are doing well, kind of keeping Connecticut in their own D zone.
Face-off will be to the right of the netminder Rysinen, controlled by Edney at the blue line. Try to chip it down the wall. It sat there briefly. Now Zaleski to the slot for Juron, had it broken up. Orlando with the outlet ahead. Rogers trying to spring Goldsmith. She has it from the wing, and the shot drifting wide with 4:15 to go in the first period. Now Lowenjelm trying to pin from the blue line, taken back by Zaleski. Moves it ahead. Edney gets it into the Whale zone. Quickly cleared ahead. Cherry picking with Barabo, but the pass didn't click. That allows Hensley to come out of the crease and spin it around for Falzer.
Yeah, Barabo took a tumble there, and I think made a best effort to try to catch up to that puck, but she was coming off the ice after crashing into the boards.
Well, in a game like this, I would say cherry-picking attempts by the Whale might be the one way to generate some offense, but you can't afford to do that against such a dynamic team like Buffalo. As it is Janiga passed across, she looked and had Bowie, but it went through the blue paint and wide. Shannon Doyle with her team down by 2. One of the original members of the pod back from season 1. Lobbing the puck in the air. Babstock holds in at the line. Big drive from the blue line, gloved high. And a save made by Rysinen with 3:21 to play in the first. 2-0 Beauts.
I think Rysinen is breaking herself in this first appearance, her first NWHL appearance here.
Yeah, she just got here a few days ago.
That's right.
Practiced late in the week, had an extra skating session yesterday, so really not much time to adjust. The Beauts have had a full camp. The backhand shot by Scamora is stopped, and we have a penalty coming up the game's first with 3:15 to go in the period as Sidney Rusler and Maddie Ilya coming together in the slot. We have a hooking call.
And that might be no surprise to those who've seen Maddie Elia play before. She likes to mix it up. I like that she gets a little physical. I think a la perhaps a Madison Packer. I think opponents take exception, but she plays her game and she plays it well.
Well, Sydney Rusler is the penalized in this case, and she will march to the penalty box. 16:45
so
is the time of the penalty on the Whale.
Forgive me there, Phil. You think she's going to have a little talk with herself, being player coach, now that she's in the box?
Well, you know, Sid plays a physical game. That's no secret. When she worked with me last week on a Quinnipiac Bobcats broadcast, we were talking about that, and she was we were in the room with Cass Turner, the Bobcats coach, talking a little bit about one of the Quinnipiac freshmen in Courtney Vorster, also very physical along the walls, likes to throw the body around, and Cass Turner compared her style very favorably to Sid Rusler from when she played with the Bobcats.
Yeah, she's got good size as a defender and not afraid to use it.
Bolden from the point with a rocket is off the mark. They'll get it back from Elia. Wines lets it go, sacrificing with fluke, and she makes the block to get it out. And then hacks it away, but lost her stick. She'll come off, and Goldsmith comes on with that twig sitting there on the ice. 2:41 to play in the period. 90 seconds remaining in the penalty on Rusler, as Elia, who has both of the Buffalo goals, blazing her way through the neutral zone, able to gain the Whale end. Bolden tried to play it down, and it was lobbed ahead. A good clear by Shannon Doyle with 2.5 to go in period 2.
Doyle, one of those players in the league that has been here all 4 seasons, Phil, with the same team, I might add.
That number's starting to dwindle a bit there, Erica. You know, season 2, a lot of returners. Season 3, not as many, and now you're 4 years in, and you know, players start to retire. They look at other commitments, so that group of the original founding 4 players is now a pretty short list.
That's right. Have seen some players move on to coaching opportunities.
Coming all the way down is Savannah Harmon as she tried to take it toward the net. Now gets bottled up on the right side. Under 2 minutes ago, 2-0 Beauts leader in the first over the Connecticut Whalers. Doyle cleared past Falzer, tried to get there in the last second attempt. And Hensley now, long play ahead. Whale may get caught here. They finally jump back on following the change. Babstock to Cameronese, all with a rocket, that was just wide. Laid back in towards the corner. Janiga back to the blue line. Falzer. Here's Janiga from the circle. Wrist shot. And Babstock tried to deflect that, but it was tipped wide. And now back up to the point. Straight away, Harmon to the right half wall, Cameronese. Cameronese's shot was off the stick of Tabiri. Knuckles in high off the wall. Falzer pinching. Now for Janiga. Back to even strength hockey is the Whale, who last season 4th in the league on the penalty kill at 76.2%. Make the first kill of the season, and it's clear to the center line and dumped down by Kim Tabiri.
To your point, Phil, definitely an area that Connecticut wants to improve upon this season.
Sam Donovan out of Brown, working the puck in the corner. Handed off looking for Baribeau, and now cleared up the boards by Buffalo. Racing back for it, Shannon Doyle. Final minute here of the first, 2-0. Buffalo with a pair of goals. Just over 2 minutes apart by Maddie Elia. Now it's Jordan Juron. To the slot, Zaleski shoots, and a save made by Rysanen, who, after giving up those 2 goals, really has settled down, Erica.
That's right. Rysanen, I think, getting a better feel for her team in front of her. As we saw, unfortunately, a pass Nina Rogers was sending across ice was intercepted, and Rysanen was up to the task and made that save.
Face off in the circle, controlled by Orlando. On her backhand, looking, gets it around the floor. Quickly gap closed by Julia Iafallo. And now a penalty coming as Orlando got tripped up in the corner. Down to 22 seconds in the period. It's touched up by Orlando. And we'll see the Whale go to the power play following a cross-checking penalty.
That's right. It looks like, you know, you see a player get pushed from behind. That's never, you know, going to go unseen, especially when you're right in front of the official. So power play also not the strong suit of the Connecticut team last season, Phil. So we'll see for the first time what that power play will look like this year.
They were just 4-55 a year ago. That's 7.3%. The Beauts 83% on the kill. Here's Rusler with it from the blue line. Across now for Tabiri. Had a knuckle off her stick, and Kareem Bowie will get it clear. And that should kill off most of the period. A cross-checking penalty on Julia Iafallo in 1939. Down to 5 seconds in the period. Sydney Rusler with it. Long saucer pass ahead. It was off of Fluke, and the horn sounds. The period ends with a minute 39 remaining in the penalty on Buffalo, and it's actually on Zaleski. I thought they had Iafallo with it, but Zaleski penalized for the cross-check in 1939, and the Whale will have a minute 39 of power play time, Erica, when we begin the second in just a little bit.
Yep, so far, not seeing as much, I'm sure, coordination offensively as the Whale would like. But they, as you mentioned, have a power play opportunity here. I think it's a matter of just settling into themselves, connecting a little bit better, and getting their chances and opportunities, on Hensley, who has not been that busy, Phil.
No, she's not. Unofficially 4 shots on goal through 1 period of play. She had to make a couple of tough saves early on, but that was really about it. Well, as you know, Erica, the road to the Isabel Cup, one way or another, runs through Buffalo, right? They've been in the Isabel Cup final all 3 seasons. Last year, losing in a squeaker, an amazing game to the Metropolitan Riveters, 1-0. So, and the Beauts have reloaded. Dare I say it, they look better than last season.
I don't think that's a stretch there, Phil. Yes, as you mentioned, the Buffalo Beauts, the only franchise to be in the Isabel Cup final, or finals as it was in the first season, every year of the NWHL and its existence. So shout out to all of the fans in the 716. I know that there's a watch party up there in Buffalo.
They're enjoying the game as the mics come out on the ice from the Greenwich Skating Club for a little intermission shinny. And we'll step aside for a little bit and come back with the second period. Erica and I will bring you the broadcast here from Terry Connor's rink all season long. Through 1 period of play, it's the Buffalo Beauts 2, the Connecticut Whale nothing. You're watching the NWHL. Well, welcome back to Stamford, Connecticut. Terry Connor's rink, Phil Jubileo and Erica Ayala with you on the broadcast today on NWHL Cross Ice Pass. 1 period in the books, and the Whale trail the Buffalo Beauts 2-0. Both goals by Buffalo scored by Maddie Ilya. Haley Scamora and Danny Cameronisi assisted on both of those goals as the Beauts outshot the Whale 13-4 in the first period, Erica. They had all the momentum as the ice was tilting in one direction, but the Whale have the power play to start the second. Let's see if they can get back on track.
Absolutely. We also saw, of course, Räisänen get a little more comfortable, so we'll see how she fares in the next 2 periods. As far as players for the Connecticut Whale that stood out, newcomers in particular, I've liked what we've seen from Nina Rogers. She's shown that she is going to be a physical, aggressive player for this Connecticut Whale team.
Yeah, when you get into the first, second game of a pro career and you're trying to find your place on a new team, you got to pick your spots. Nina, I thought, did so pretty well in the first period.
Absolutely. So we'll see who stands out here for both teams. As we mentioned, both have undergone somewhat of a facelift to their rosters, even swapping out, of course, Kelly Babstock now wearing this blue here. So we'll see how each of the newcomers to each respective team, I should say, do in this second period.
Yeah, one thing about this Beauts team, a lot of new faces, but a lot of returning players, and it really seemed like the core of that roster is still there, and then they just added. They add a bit more, and it just makes them even more dangerous. As we are underway to start the second, Fluke up front, starting with Sheeran and Donovan. Tabiri with Rusler on that Whale power play. You mentioned at the end of the first period, just 7% on the advantage last season, as Casorso has someone tied up in the corner. Now Fluke will come over. Emily with it on the left side, gives it back to Rusler. Now to Tabiri. 2 right shots on that first power play unit as Sheeran gets it back straight away to Tabiri with a wrist shot deflected wide and cleared from the slot. Back over to Sheeran, trying to pass through, got it in front, a shot. Hensley the save. Nice lateral movement there by Sheeran to get to the net.
Yeah, Sheeran, she got the puck tossed from her stick, followed up with it, and tried to slap it past Hensley, but she was having none of it, Phil.
19-17 remaining in the second period. 56 seconds in the penalty on Zaleski. New group out there for Ryan Aquali's team. Goldsmith won the faceoff, then had her stick lifted by Ilya. Shannon Doyle holding in at the blue line, trying to move it down the boards, got it back. Nearly poked away as Ilya fell to the ice, and we get a penalty called away from the puck, and a slashing penalty called with 19:08 to go, and it's on Jamie Goldsmith. Bit of frustration there by the second-year pro.
Yeah, we've seen Jamie every once in a while get a little frustrated. I mean, as your team is finishing out a power play, you know, you don't want to lose that advantage. And then, of course, lose a skater and put the Beauts, who are already up 2 goals, on their own power play. So, but here we are, Phil.
A lot of ice, 47 seconds of 4-on-4 play. And you've got Ilya with Scamora up front, along with Edney and Emily Falzer. Face-off controlled here, Scamora in the corner. Scamora trying to pass out in front, broken up. Beatty can't hold on to it. Now here's Ilya, back up top. Now Edney, center point, trying to move to her left to find room. 2-0 Beauts. Minute 10 played in the second. Bouncing redirect on the entry shot by Scamora. It goes wide. Well, look to clear the zone, but backpedaling is Doyle. Or check that to Berry. Now ahead to Beatty, who gets it out to center ice. Ilya will skate it down in front of her bench. Steered away by Doyle. Beauts playing it ahead in those baby blues. Shot in by Scamora. Side of the net, Rysanen just settles that puck down for Hannah Beatty. She joined the team about halfway through the last season as the point shot ricochets off Lowenjelm. Sent through by Edney, and she'll take it back out at center. She's going to come off at a chain. Saw the puck come to her. She stays out there.
That's right. Beatty, as you were saying, Phil, joined up on this Connecticut team. There were a few players that came in a little bit late as Randy Qualley was trying to put his team together last year, but Beatty returns.
Well, Babcock walking in front. Oh, what a kick save. Beautiful stop there by Rysanen to 9, the former Whale standout.
That's right. Babcock, we know she can be crafty on her stick, but Rysanen saw it the whole way.
Puck in behind, and Beatty will track it down. 35 left in what is now the second Buffalo power play, 0 for 1 on the advantage here this afternoon. Harmon will play it back deep in her own end.
I laughed a little there as Falzer, you can see where her height kind of is the disadvantage. She wasn't quite able to reach up and stop that puck.
And across the line, it's Falzer. To the right side, pass in front. Babcock shoots, and she gets robbed again by Rysanen. Maybe it's this building. Babcock had a bit of an offseason a year ago. No one could get her the puck, which was the problem with the Whale, but she gets robbed on 2 goal opportunities in the last 20 seconds by Rysanen.
Not a fan of Terry Connors, you're saying?
It could be. We'll see. Still plenty of time for her to do something in this game, but her opportunities are in midseason form. Back to 5-on-5 hockey as the Beauts now 0 for 2 on the power play. On the right wing side, it was poked away. Tracked down at the point by Casorso. Looks to lead it down the board. Skips by Iafallo. Jordan Juron is there. Pressure coming from Rusler. Back to Juron, who had 2 points and a goal a season ago. Feathered it to Zaleski. Broken up. And skated down by Rogers. Nina Rogers along the left side to Goldsmith. Goldsmith centered it ahead. Here's Baribeau. 2-on-3 come the Whale. Baribeau had her stick lifted. Stayed with it. Gets it into the zone. Now in the corner, it's Rogers, and she gives it away to Lisa Chesson, who quickly outlets to Iafallo. Held alive by Lowenjelm. Whale look to make a quick change here in the second, down 2 with 16:10 to play. The dump in played by Rysanen. Hands it off to Lowenjelm, and she'll skate forward with it. Lowenjelm out to the neutral zone, lost the handle. Moved ahead by Falzer as it knuckled back, and then Edney will shoot it through, and an icing is called as Orlando at a step on Janiga with 4:05 played in the second. 2-0 Beauts.
And as we have mentioned, these two teams, they like to play fast. That is on trend in this second period so far.
Faceoff will come back into the Buffalo zone. Donovan out there to take the faceoff. He's joined by Fluke and Sheeran along with Doyle and Beatty. And Donovan, the freshman out of Brown, another Minnesota native on this roster. Played back around the net as it stays on the boards, and Falzer will gather it up for Buffalo. Looking and finding Edney. Edney in her second season with Buffalo 2 years ago played in the CWHL with Markham as the pass comes around the net back to the left wing side. Babcock centered it, and Janiga deflected it just wide. I believe Edney is the lone kind of CWHL player from that group of women from Markham still with the organization.
Yes.
You had Vint, she left, Jess Jones left, and there's one other also left too, yes.
That's right, yes, and she was with them when they were still Brampton, I believe. But Jess Jones returns from Brampton to Buffalo to now Markham.
5:10 played here in this second period. It is a shot in by Cameronese, easily gloved by Rysanen. Saw a little pushing and shoving out in front. Juana Barabo, the assistant captain on this team, giving a Butte player a shove. But a face-off coming inside the Whale zone. And Iafallo losing the draw to Connecticut, but it's Scamora battling Tiberi in the corner. Behind the net now for Cameronese. Tipped it over. Now pinching deep and working it deep is Harmon. Hands off to Ilya, who has Buffalo's goals today. Both coming in the first period, or first and second of the year. Drops it back to Harmon. Looks to make her move. Tiberi tried to body her to the boards. Harmon keeping her feet moving, got it toward the corner. Lost the puck though in the slot. And it's Goldsmith trying to get the puck out to center. Whale just having trouble trying to move in transition as the Beauts drive it back the other way. And we get an icing here called on the Beauts.
And you can hear folks in the crowd yelling that that puck hit the stick that was center ice. That perhaps led to that icing call.
Well, if so, they'll just, now they're talking about it, the refs, and they'll drop the puck at the center ice dot if they agree. It looks like that's highly likely. Oh no, they're going to put that face-off back inside the Connecticut zone, which is something you normally don't see. Normally they would bring that back out to center ice, and I think Emily Fluke isn't very happy with it.
Yeah, now we see that the Whale are checking in.
Well, Emily Fluke has to come over the boards or risk being called for too many skitters on the ice. She escapes to the bench. Chesson looking, taking the pass, shooting one, helmet save made. What a stop by Mira Rysanen right off the bucket as it's held in at the blue line by Iafallo.
Yeah, she shrugged that one off with her forehead there, Phil.
That's a Katie Fitzgerald special.
I think she did that at least twice
Intentionally.
yesterday.
Chesson from the blue line, shooting one in, it got to net. And Rysanen makes the save with 13:52 to play in this second period, 2-0 Beauts.
We may have to ask her, we may have to ask Medi if that was intentional or not.
I don't know why you would. Goaltenders, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to take a puck off the head, but you got the helmet, I suppose.
That's what it's there for, testing it out. You know?
Make sure it works.
Exactly.
If it doesn't, you got a big problem.
That's right. It's a custom helmet. She's got to make sure it's good to go.
Off the draw, controlled by the Beauts. Here's Falzer. Babcock at the half wall, looking deep for Janiga. And they have a penalty on Orlando for cross-checking. So 6:08 of the period. It is now the third power play. Didn't catch that penalty on Juice to see what happened there, but the Whale find themselves short-handed. Janiga had a couple of whacks at it, and from both denied by Rysanen and had a good clear by Connecticut.
And I think it's Orlando in the box there.
So Orlando in the box for Connecticut. Back along the right side at the blue line, it's Falzer. Across now for Harmon. Point shot blockered away by Rysanen into the corner. And Babcock will play it back up. Harmon tried to feed it down low. Hit off a Whale's stick, and it comes right back to Babcock. Babcock, 50 points in 3 seasons of Connecticut Whale hockey in the NW. As it is Janiga. Pass shot is denied. It was deflected by Rysanen, and from the near wing side, Goldsmith able to muscle the puck out to center ice and push it from blue line to blue line. But back the other way quickly with it is Karine Bowie. As Tiberi tried to slap that around, she shanked it, and Bowie plays it back to Bolden. Look out for that shot, and said gives it out to Scamora. Back to Bolden, one-timer, and the Rocket comes off the boards. Look to get that back on the return pass by Ilya, but it misfires and comes all the way through. Now Scamora quickly as she took the pass from Hensley. Scamora, Ilya, back up top. Bolden shooting, blocked by Donovan, and it goes out of play.
And I just want to point out to the viewers there, Phil, that there was a shot that Rysanen was able to stop, and Babcock was right there back door, but it was Joanna Barab who picked up her stick and really eliminated a shooting chance for Babcock. So I think it's fair to say that her former teammates have the scouting report on her, keeping an eye out on her on the ice. 18
seconds remaining in the penalty on Orlando. 12:10 to play in the second, 2-0 Buffalo. It's the third Beauts power play. Scamora straight on to Bolden, top of the left circle, back up top. Scamora thought about sending it through. Bolden does, misfires. Comes up the boards, and Scamora will keep it in as time ticking away on that Orlando penalty. Ilya in the corner. Chip back to Annika Zaleski. It's back to 5-on-5 hockey, and the Whale have killed off all 3 Buffalo power plays. The puck is loose in the slot and cleared out by Emily Fluke right as Karine Bowie was nearing a chance to try to one-down that through below the hash marks, and we see an icing with 11:38 to go in the second period. That'll bring the face-off back the other way. Well, it's a home-and-home series of sorts. These two teams will play on the 13th. It is the home opener for the Beauts up at Harbor Center. So that'll be an interesting return engagement next week. Certainly a big crowd expected up in Buffalo at the Beauts home. Has been since day one for Buffalo. Just a really nice rink to play in for them. Great facilities. The Pegulas in the offseason did a lot to redress their locker room, and they have a beautiful renovated room. But right now the Whale have a 2-on-1. Rogers offside, passing to the left. As she had Sheeran, an odd skater opportunity. I think the Whale got pretty excited that time.
Yeah. I think they saw something. They just got, as you said, a little too eager. But more looks like that, Phil, is what the Whale will have to pull together to get something on the board here in the second period and beyond.
Janiga won the face-off, but it's Lowenjelm getting to it along the left side, and she ices it. Nope, they'll wave that off as Chesson will play it deep. Around to the corner, and over to Bowie, who tries to get it out. Flanked by 2 white sweaters, including Baraboo. Chipped that toward the corner. Chesson with a quick play around to the near side. Moved out to the neutral zone as Babstock gave it away to Orlando. Tried to play it up the far wall. It didn't get much on it. Muscles it across the line. But Casorso there to play it back to Chesson. Ahead now, tripped up was Janiga, no call. As play continues is Babstock skating in across the Connecticut line, rubbed out by Orlando. Babstock tried to stay with it. Orlando gets it out to center ice. Sliding is Juron, somehow able to keep that puck away from Schwensfire, but now played back into the Buffalo zone. And skipped out through neutral ice, and Lowenjelm will race back and beat Juron for an icing. 10:28 to go in the second. Shots unofficially 20 for the Beauts, just 6 for the Whale.
Still not getting enough opportunities, Phil, to really challenge Hensley. The Beauts have done a good job to really be able to control the puck for most of the game so far.
Yeah, they certainly have. They own the ice edge inside the offensive zone. As Buffalo looking to clear here against Sam Donovan, and it is skated forward. Edney moves it ahead for Juron. Across the line, poked away by Rusler. As the puck sits along the half wall, a little 2-on-2 battle between the Whale and the Beauts. Connecticut wins that engagement. It's Donovan. Ahead now, Sheeran banged out the center, finding Fluke, who saw that puck. Beauts able to get back, and the shot by Fluke was blocked. And it looked like taking that one a little bit hard with Sarah Edney as she kind of slouched over for a moment with the puck in the corner. Edney, though, a gamer, stays out there. Whale try to play it down low from the blue line. Now cleared ahead too far for Juron. Racing back is Tiberi. She'll let Rysanen play it. And Kim Tiberi out of Norwich University giving it away. Backhand pass to the slot is taken away. And here's a try from straight on. Iafallo with 2 whacks at it. And the save is made. And she knocks over the goaltender Rysanen. And now we have physical play out in front of the Connecticut net. You don't push the goaltender, you're going to hear it from her teammates.
That's right, and Rysanen was holding her own too, but then you see, I believe, Phil, that was Cameronese that followed up with a few taps to Rusler, who now looks like she might be in the doghouse, so to speak. But she definitely got tapped in the head by, again, I think that was Cameronese.
Well, it was Iafallo got the first shot in on goal and then followed up on Rysanen, and then you had the skirmish after. Let's see who they call the penalty on. Right now the Beauts players are kind of huddled inside the line. You had Haley Scamora go over to talk with Rick Sealing, the head coach of this Buffalo team, and we'll see what they call. Sydney Rusler is in the penalty box. She may be the only guilty party for going after Cameronese at the end of that play, unless they try to even it up. So 10:30 time of the penalty on Cindy Rusler, and they will get Cameronese as well. So matching roughing penalties to the order here at Terry Connors.
So we're waiting for the official announcement here in Connecticut over the PA. Oh, no, okay. Cameronese, she's in, she's out, she's in.
Oh, she's out. It's another skater in the box. Is that Iafallo?
Iafallo in the box, Cameronese on the bench.
So time of the penalties, 10.5 of this second period. Rusler making herself at home in the box for the second time in this game, and we'll see even strength hockey 4-on-4 for the second time in this game.
Definitely she's gonna have to have a firm conversation with herself.
She might have to find herself if she goes in the box a third time. I don't know how that works.
Take this time to shout out, you might see the black and orange uniform, the jersey hanging just beyond the Beauts bench. That's the Mamaroneck Tigers, I believe, one of the junior NWHL teams.
You can see it right now on the screen.
There you go. As someone who has skated at Hommocks, that was the thing to do growing up in Westchester. You went to Hommocks to hang out with everyone. So want to give the 914 a nice little shout out here, Westchester County, New York.
Good to see the youth programs getting involved with the NWHL during the offseason and beyond. We had the Greenwich Skating Club on the ice after the first intermission. Still a bit of confusion here. Finally, it looks like we're ready to play hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
There's Bolden from the point. Shot got through. Good save by Rysanen. Will can't clear it. Harmon back to Bolden. With a drive, tipped high. Down low in front, it was Elia. She wants that hat trick, doesn't she?
I think so.
As the Wales Doyle gets it ahead. Through the neutral zone, Baraboo. Too far on the lead pass for Goldsmith. Bolden cuts her off. They battle in behind. Coming over is Elia to take it away. Maddie Elia, the second-year pro, gets it on the pass from Skamora and across the line. Now it is a little bit of a tie-up as the puck comes loose at center ice. And from the right side, Bolden will send it in. 8:45 to play in the second period. Minute 15 left in the 4-on-4. There's Sam Donovan, 2-on-3. She's got Fluke with her. Cameronese met her down the boards, and Lisa Chesson takes the puck away. Gets it around to Casorso, banked up the wall off Elia. Comes out to the center line, and Lowenjelm will pitch it back into Buffalo territory with 8.5 to go in the period. Lukin on the forecheck battling. Took control of it, steers it up the boards. Waiting at the blue line, Orlando. Now to Lowenjelm. Drags a shot, it was blocked. Well done there by Cameronese, who had 5 points in the Olympics on 3 goals. She was 10th in Olympic skating in terms of points from skaters. She had a fantastic gold medal run for Team USA. The entire club pretty much did.
Absolutely. Went to a shootout. A few Olympic athletes here on this Beauts roster. Gold medalist, I should say, particularly.
Balzer, Cameronese, and Hensley. Zabados sitting on the bench tonight as the backup for Hensley, a silver medalist. She has won gold a few times as well in her past appearances. A handful of medal appearances for the Whale netminder, as you have Nera Rysanen, a bronze medal, and a handful of Olympians from international programs on this Whale team as we get a stoppage with 7:43 to go on the media timeout. It's a 2-0 Buffalo lead.
That's right. We've already mentioned Randy Griffin with the Korean team, unified Korean team.
So 13 seconds remain in the 4-on-4 between the Beauts and the Connecticut Whale again. It's a similar story to what we've seen in previous games between Connecticut and really whoever their opponent is. In this case, they're even having trouble just generating shots. You know, part of that is a lot of new players on the team trying to kind of gel a little bit. Part of it is Buffalo just being darn good.
Absolutely. A combination that has not gone in favor of the Connecticut Whales. So thinking of the opponent, as you said, that's ever changing, but there are some things I'm sure that the Whale will want to clean up after this first run in this 2018-19 season.
Well, coming out of the media timeout, the face-off will be back in the Connecticut Whale zone as the Whale finish up their media timeout. Ryan Aquali talking with them, along with assistant coach Sydney Rusler. You have a few other Whale players on the bench. Rachel Aids on the bench. Jordan Brickner is on the bench. Laura Brennan, who is not on the roster. She was the third goaltender a season ago, but she has a lot of coaching experience too. She's on the bench today. So Ryan Aquali has a lot of help. I'm sure he would like Aid and Brickner on the ice for this game. He doesn't have their services as they're both a little bit injured.
Yep, because that would potentially move Lowenjelm up, get some more offense.
Exactly, as the puck is shot in from the right side. A big blast by Kareen Bowie. Nice save there by Rysanen. Lobbed in from the point. It was blocked down by Beatty. Played back to the corner, and Beatty comes away with the puck. Tied up along the boards, and Kareen Bowie will come in and dig that one off the walls. We come up on 7 minutes to play in the second. Here's Kareen Bowie back to the blue line for Edney. Endil on the left wing. Taya follows. Hung up there by Beatty. Back to the point. Falzer ricochets one. Directed a little bit wide off the stick. And now you have both teams battling along the right side. It was Sheeran along with Kareen Bowie. And here's Edney now. Throws it deep to Ilya. Has Edney along the half boards. Gets it to her at the point. Shot blocked by the leg of Doyle. Comes back to Scamora. Kicks it down the wall herself. Gets back to the puck. Hands off now to Cameronisi. This line has generated both of the goals. Now to Bolden with a rocket from the point. That ricochets off Ilya and off the corner wall. Ilya looks to get it back. Doyle anticipating the pass. Cuts her off. And a much bigger Maddie Ilya has Doyle pinned to the boards as Hannah Beatty takes the puck back in the far corner, moves it ahead for Sheeran, tries to escape. Cameronisi got dumped down to the ice as she couldn't get her skates back on moving forward. And here is Cameronisi in deep with under 6 minutes to play. Pass out high slot. Harmon got tripped up. Ilya got to the puck and pulled it wide. And now here's Hannah Beatty as the Whale has just sat in their own zone here for the better part of 2 minutes.
And again, that physicality of the Beauts and the size really on display there as we get another penalty that will work in favor of the Buffalo Beauts here, Phil.
Yeah, you had Ilya tripped up in the corner. The penalty on Hannah Beatty, who had all sorts of difficulty trying to get the puck out of the zone at 14:20 of this second period. So Hannah Beatty goes to the box. Fourth power play coming up for Buffalo.
Hensley showed off her speed trying to get back to the bench there, Phil.
Here's
Very
Falzer
impressed.
with it at the blue line. Slap shot deflects to the corner. Babstock there. A highlight of this game has been the Connecticut penalty kill. It's looked pretty good as the centering feed by Falzer was tipped high by Emily Janiga. Well, look to get the puck clear. Thrown back in deep. It's Janiga. Back up top to Falzer. Falzer to the right side. One-timer by Harmon was knocked down in front. The forwards are Cameronisi along with Janiga and Babstock. It's Cameronisi now. Over to Janiga. Shoveled back up the wall. Good anticipation by Baraboo, and she sends it down.
As you mentioned, it's been a highlight of this game so far, but also you're going to want Connecticut to figure things out and utilize their size adequately so they're not in the penalty box.
Cameronisi takes it all the way down and enters the Whale zone. Behind the net, Donovan tries to rub off the much taller player. Cameronisi there. Oh, nice stick work there by Donovan to poke that away and quickly flips it out with 4:35 to go and 56 remaining in the penalty on Shannon Doyle. Or Hannah Beatty, check that. They have 6 up on that scoreboard. It's 16. There's Lowenjelm from in front of her net. Nice clear by the rookie as the Beauts will start back in their own zone. Hensley settling it down for Bolden. It is Bolden with Ilya Zaleski, along with Scamora and Kareen Bowie, and a turnover in the neutral zone. Fired down along the far wing boards after the stick check by Shannon Doyle. Once again, Buffalo will try to start out from their own net. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty on Beatty. Racing through center with it, Scamora. walking toward the slot. Try to put it back in the forehand. Wobbling puck, and it's Elia. To the corner, up the boards. Hanging on to it is Corrine Bowie with her backhand. Penalty is over. Back to 5-on-5 hockey, and now the Beauts 0 for 4 on the power play with 3:35 remaining in the second period. 2-0 Beauts ahead on a pair of goals by Maddie Elia from back in the first period at 7:08 and 9:39. Will send it in, and Hensley will melt it down in front of her crease with 3:26 to go in the second, and a rare offensive zone faceoff for Connecticut coming up.
Again, want to go back to good on the Whale for being able to kill off that penalty. Showed a lot of energy there on the penalty kill, but you'd like to see them be able to utilize that in their offensive zone and really make some chances for themselves as opposed to always having to defend.
It's Casorso around the net to Chesson. Up the boards to Kelly Babstock. The center ice, puck sliding in front of the line. It comes back, and Casorso will skate it in. She'll stop at the half wall. Centering feed in front. She was looking for either Janiga or Babstock. Neither got to the puck. And it's Kelly Babs on the left side, tied up by Lowenjelm. She nearly gave it away. Iafallo helping out. Played back to the line for Chesson. The shot deflected on a stick in front. I think that was Lowenjelm. Cleared but not out. Beauts contain the zone. To the slot. Babstock shoots one, and she's denied. A save by Rysanen with 2:43 to go in the second. 2-0 Beauts.
Now this is something that we were familiar with from last season in particular, Phil. A Whale goalie really, staying up strong for their team and making, or I should say, eliminating opportunities for the opposition.
Off the draw, it's Eddie. Absolutely. I mean, Rysanen looks like she's in midseason form. A block by Baraba, racing after it. Hensley comes after it, and she plays it deftly to the right side for her Team USA compadre, as stop was made there by Baraboo, who got back to the puck at center ice, got tripped up. What a shift there by Juana Baraboo. She had the potential breakaway. Hensley played it beautifully, and not a surprise there, but then Baraboo comes out at center, gets tripped, and we'll see a Whale power play. And
you see Emily Fluke coming onto the ice as Baraboo's coming off. Juice says she's known, and Fluke just embraces her, gives her props for her, as you said, that excellent effort that she put in for her team.
Oh, the penalty is on Scamora, and it is the second power play for Connecticut in this game. We'll see if they can do something on this advantage as we're late in the middle frame. Whale didn't generate anything offensively on their first power play. Here they come from left to right, led by Donovan. Into the Buffalo zone. Edney with that long reach, able to dig the puck in off the boards. Played it around to Falzer. Lobs it high, glove down by Rusler. Slaps it across to Sheeran right side. Lobs it pass out in front, shot by Fluke, and a big save made by Hensley.
That was a good-looking opportunity, Phil, by Connecticut, but Hensley saw the puck the whole way.
Well, best chance, and Nicole Hensley, the 5'6" netminder out of Lakewood, Colorado, a big stop.
Fluke shaking her head as she comes off the ice. She knows that was a great opportunity.
It was a great chance, and she even said that pass wasn't super crisp, it got through. It was a good feed by Sheeran. Fluke had great positioning and still managed a decent shot, but Hensley was able to square up to that puck, and I think that made the difference there.
Absolutely.
Nina Rogers backhands it across. In the corner, it's Goldsmith. Ahead to the point for Doyle. Doyle trying to find some room to send that through. Winds and holds, has no room. Across to Lowenjelm after it tipped off of Goldsmith. Minute 10 to play in the period. 45 left in the penalty on Scamora. Wrist shot from the wing, knocked down by Hensley. It was sent through by Beatty. And Buffalo looks to clear it. A good pass by Iafallo finds Zaleski. And Zaleski back to Harmon to have 3 of the 4 Frozen Four captains on this penalty kill unit from different teams. Able to get the job done clearing it, but the Whale come right back in. Here's Tiberi with it along the right side. Kim Tiberi skating down in the corner, moving really well, coming around, pass in front, looking for Donovan. It was tipped by a Buffalo stick. 35 to play in the period. 5 left in the penalty on Haley Scamora. Tiberi with it at the blue line. Moves it right side. The shot from the wing by Sheeran off the board. Fluke had someone in front, and trying to complete that was Donovan. Couldn't get to it. And here comes Buffalo. Cameron Easy Motoring in, Cameronese walks in front, shot, big save made. Falling on the puck is Riceinen, and it's still a 2-goal game with 12.2 remaining in the second.
Riceinen got that first shot with the pit of her arm there and was able to knock it down to the ice and eventually cover up as she was kind of doing a little topsy-turvy there, Phil.
Well, the Whale had some good scoring chances on the power play there second, which was something we didn't see the first time around. Off the draw, comes back to Chesson. 10 to play in the period. Point shot blocked. Skamora shoots, and Doyle got a piece of it as it goes into the net.
Both teams picking up here as we finish out this second period, Phil.
The shots unofficially are 29-8 in favor of Buffalo. 4 of those Whale shots coming here in the second period, matching their first period total. 16 shots for Buffalo as the horn sounds. And we're through 40 minutes of action here in Stamford, Connecticut with the Connecticut Whale. Trailing Buffalo 2-0, but a solid second period as the shots actually are 30-7. So 17 for Buffalo in the second, just 3 for the Connecticut Whale. A couple of those chances generated on their second power play. Buffalo owned the Connecticut zone throughout, but I thought the Whale did an admirable job. They couldn't get exits. That's the thing. They get pressured on the forecheck, pinned deep in their zone. While they do have a lot of returning defenders, they're lacking that I can take the puck and skate out with it, because trying to chip and chase isn't working for them through 40 minutes of play.
That's right, Phil. Again, that's just, is it that we have yet to see this team with a complete roster and figuring things out? Is that going to be a deficiency for this team? It's certainly something, one way or another, they're going to have to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, is that Brickner or Rachel Aid? I thought Aid at times last season was pretty good moving the puck. You know, Shannon Doyle, as a fourth-year veteran, a lot of experience, should be that player to move the puck out. Might take her a little bit of time to get into game shape, but you can see it on the other side when you look at Emily Falzer. I mean, come on. Yeah, gold medalist, she's able to move the puck. She can take it, go cross ice, and you see it from some of their other defenders as well. They all have the ability to take the puck off the boards and just skate out with it. They don't have to pass out of the zone. When they do, they make that first good exit pass, and you have the strong forwards able to puck handle as well.
That's right, and that's in line, Phil, with what we heard Ryan Equali talk about when it comes to shots. Not just taking shots to take shots and not holding the puck to look for the perfect shot, but to have a balance between there. And right now there does seem to be a hesitation, as you mentioned, to kind of work that puck through the defensive zone and really get some momentum going into the offensive zone.
Yeah, Buffalo makes it difficult too, just because they have so much size from their forwards that are up pressuring the defenders, usually working the points that it's just hard to get a shot through. They sacrifice the body. They're not afraid to block shots. They're fearless out there on the ice, so that adds another layer of difficulty for the Whale in this game so far.
Absolutely, and so I think when you see a team like Connecticut, they're not perhaps necessarily the smallest team, but certainly not the tallest. They're going to have to be very crafty with passing, but also utilize some of their players with speed to get things going.
So we are through 2 periods here at Terry Connors Rink in Stamford, home opener for the Connecticut Whale, and they're not back in this building until the very end of December. They have an early December game in Pittsburgh against Metropolitan, but they won't be back here until December 30th. So if you're at home and you missed out on today's game, still plenty of opportunities to head on out to Stamford, Connecticut to watch the Whale down the stretch, the very end of 2018 and throughout the early part of 2019. A lot of fun, and we'll see everyone come in during the course of the season, including another visit in by the Buffalo Beauts. And with that, Erica and I will step aside for a few minutes at the end of Chuck and Puck, as you can see that at center ice. Or the third period coming up for you in a little bit after 2. It's the Buffalo Beauts 2, the Connecticut Whale 0. You're watching the NWHL on Cross Ice Pass. It's about to take the ice for the third period of play. The 2-0 Buffalo lead after 40 minutes of play, alongside Eric Ayala, Coach Jubileo on hand, as the Whale look to find a way to get one on the board in this game after being blanked through 40 minutes of play. They have just 7 shots on goal, 30 for Buffalo, including 17 in the second period.
As we talked about, Phil, before we went on break, just really going to have to start working from the back, finding ways to connect with teammates and really just possess the puck a little bit more. But if the score were to stand, it would not be the first shutout of the NWHL season, although it is young. The Minnesota Whitecaps blanked the Metropolitan Riveters yesterday, Phil.
Amanda Levier with the shutout over the team that defeated her in the Isabel Cup final a season ago, and by the slimmest of margins, 1-0 on the acrobatic Alexa Grushaw goal.
That was a mighty goal, but Levier is winning the battle so far, as her team is also up 3-1 today.
Jenny Ryan has the lone goal for the Riveters out in St. Paul at a sold-out Tria rink, 2 straight sellouts. And right now, here's Babstock trying to do it all herself, walking to the slot, shooting, and Reisinen got a piece of it. And along the near wing side, it's shoveled out to center ice by Rusler. That puck's going to slow up, and we'll get an icing as Edney just did beat Whale captain Emily Fluke to the puck.
Gonna have to see Emily Fluke. That's a name we haven't called very much, Phil.
Nope.
Have to see the captain get involved. We already said Joanna Baraboo, she's been doing it with the hustle. Now we need a little bit of a finesse and finish from Fluke.
Look at that one chance on the power play when Sheeran found her in the slot, and that's the lone moment for her in this game, unable to finish on Nicole Hensley. Here comes Chesson for the Beauts across the line. 45 play to the third, pass in front. It was deflected off the stick of Reisinen, who got in that shooting lane from her crease. Buffalo with it back in their own zone. Cameronisi tried to center it ahead. It comes back to Chesson inside the Buffalo zone. Now handed off. Cameronisi skates in. Goes around Orlando. Cameronisi. Sharp angle try stay made. Pass out high slot. Chesson is there and she flips it high. Cameronisi back to the blue line. Tesorso to Chesson. Shot, big save by Reisinen. Off the pad, and on the left side, it's skated forward by Sarah Houston. Houston in across the line, angling to the right. Playing her first NWHL regular season game, got bodied up by Chesson, and now here comes Cameronisi with it. Handed off down the left side, it's Skamora, has Yelia, walks in front, poke check by Reisinen, and a brilliant save by the rookie from Finland. It feels strange calling her a rookie in this league because she has so much international experience, but she is.
Same can be said for a few people in this arena alone.
Exactly. Most of the Minnesota Whitecaps roster.
Right.
Aside from the players that already had played in the league, and now it's deflected over the glass from the near side and out of play with 2:01 gone by to the third, 2-0 Buffalo.
I am a proponent, though, of calling them true rookies in the sense of first-timers to the NWHL.
You could consider maybe newcomer. That's another way to
perhaps
to look at it as well. But I believe the league has said they're all rookies. I believe they use that term. So we'll use it as well. Puck is contained by Harmon. Sent it down below and Yelm. Muscles past Iafallo to get it out to the neutral zone. Poked back into the Buffalo end, and it's Bolden moving it to the left. Harmon now feeding it ahead over to Zaleski. Back to Bolden. Skates it into Connecticut territory, trying to get around Rusler. Got a stick on it. Back straight away to Harmon. Moves it left. Little give and go. Shot it on net by Harmon, pinching between the circles, and a stick save is made. Good stop there once again by Nady Reisinen. Work down low. Here's Annika Zaleski. The upstate New York native tried to pass toward the slot. Taken by Nina Rogers. Ahead for Rusler to the left side on the tape for Anderson. Casey Anderson from the wing. The shot was deflected by Harmon, and Bolden in the corner will look up ice. Sent it right through the middle, and it's deflected forward by Jordan Giron. Played in deep for Connecticut, and ahead for Sheeran. From the neutral zone, Babstock got pawed down. Now knuckled forward by Orlando. Played back the other way by Babstock. Donovan stands her up. Sent the puck rink wide and attacked ahead by Shannon Doyle, but into the Buffalo bench with 16:46 to go in regulation. 2-0 Buffalo. So that'll bring the face-off out to center ice. As we mentioned already, these two teams will play again at Harbor Center on the 13th. That's next Saturday, and the home opener for the Beauts.
That's right. They had a game that went to a shootout, Phil, and it was a little bit of bad puck luck for Kelly Babstock. Had a chance to get one by Levier and tripped up there in that game.
Puck cleared out to center ice. Falzer moves it back to the left. Sarah Edney slaps it in. Rysanen, who wears a very untraditional goaltending number. She is in number 18. Allowed that puck to come around back to the near side. Beauts unable to hold the zone as it's dug off the wall by Baraboo. Babstock give and go with Falzer. To the right for Corrine Bowie. Skates it down at the half wall. Pass out in front. Deflected off the skate. Falzer keeps it in on her backhand. Moves it down the left wing boards as she goes around Hannah Beatty. Beatty then locks her up. Janiga there. Back up the wall. From the point, the shot by Casorso. Nice down. Beatty gets it out to center ice. Hit off a linesman. And regained the other way. Skated in by Scamora. And now a nice move, Scamora to the backhand. She scores. Haley Scamora angling in as it rang around and ends up in the back of the net. 3-0 Beauts with 15:43 to play.
What a nice move, Phil, by Haley Scamora. Again, mentioned she's the reigning Rookie of the Year. Her first true rookie season being last year, but she suited up in 3 seasons for the Buffalo Beauts and puts them up 3-0 here in the third period.
So they'll drop the puck at center ice as it's the first goal since Ilia's second from the 9:39 mark of period number 1. Puck is skated in down the right wing side. Here's Cameron Nisi. Cameron Nisi pass to the high slot. Little shot there by Elisa Chesson is blocked. The goal is considered unassisted for Scamora. Maddie Ilia on Lowenjelm, who strips her. Behind the net now, coming over to help is Orlando. Shovel to Rusler, skips past her. Looks now like Lowenjelm is skating up front with Rusler and Orlando on the blue line. Lowenjelm with Anderson and now Emily Fluke. So Lowenjelm skated on defense for the first couple of periods. Ryan Aquali looking for some offense, put her in front, and now a shot by Iafallo from the top of the crease was pushed wide.
And we call that out, you know, with having short on the blue liners. Lowenjelm not available as a forward, but Aquali switches it up for the third period.
You can shorten his D crew here for period number 3. Just go with 4 or 5. Orlando lobbed up ahead a little bit too far for Sheeran, and now Sheeran takes it in across the line. Sheeran moved it to the right, but Annika Zaleski was there, and she's on the other team. So the Beauts come out. Good rink-wide feed for Iafallo. Iafallo walking to the slot, pass left circle, shot, big save made. It was a blocker stop off the try from the left wing circle by Savannah Harmon. Stopping there is Doyle. Doyle looking up ice, long pass ahead for Fluke, and it's played down by Blake Bolden, who delivers rink wide, and the angle played by Beatty. You can see here in a game like this, Erica, the Buffalo Beauts with an experienced roster, some newcomers, including a few Olympians, and they've been practicing for a while. I think they started camp before the other teams, maybe around the same time as the Whitecaps, but those two teams, and you can see their success in this opening weekend, certainly with all of the extra skating that they did during the month of September, has helped them out as the puck is iced by the Whale.
That's an excellent point, Phil. There was a great article in The Athletic Minnesota about just that, and how the Whitecaps, they are a storied team, right? Independent team, had more than a roster full of talent, but opted to go with a free agent camp to solidify their NWHL roster.
So the puck carried out through the neutral zone, a trip at center ice that goes unnoticed. That was Sarah Houston trying to maneuver through the neutral end, and now Bowie will play it back to Falzer. Across now to Babstock, softly for Janiga. Janiga tried to come back to the forehand. She slips to the ice as Bowie kept it in, and Edney looks to give it back to her. Lowenjelm battling in the circle. It's Scamora now who has the goal to go along with 2 assists. 3-point game for Haley as the full second-year pro, albeit she played in the Beauts playoff run back in year number 2 of the NWHL when the Beauts won the Isabel Cup, is battling on the side. Anderson now with it, and she'll pirouette and get the puck out, and that's an icing on the whale with 12:42 to go.
And you called out Emily Janiga. I just want to remind Beauts fans that Janiga, this is a return to the Beauts for her. She played with the Vunk Rays in the CWHL, and that team consolidated with the other team based in China in the CWHL, and Janiga has returned to her home state.
She had 14 points on 6 goals in 28 games for the Vanka Rays last season. 2 years ago with the 2016-17 Beauts, 11 points on 6 goals, as a key contributor in the playoff run for Buffalo. Point shot by Casorso, and it looked like that was stopped by Ryson, and she does glove the follow-up from the left wing by Chesson with 12:16 to play.
Ryson again looking sharp for the Whale. That opportunity by Skamura, great individual effort. She was able to juke her defender and beat Ryson, but again, Ryson in her debut has looked good. Gonna have to see more of that as the year goes on between Ryson and the rest of the goalies for the Whale.
Geron looking to feed Chesson, cutting to the slot. Doyle plays it in behind the net. Oh, more the Whale having trouble getting it out, but now here's Sheeran, a 2-on-1 potentially with Fluke, but Chesson, such a crafty veteran, played that really well with her stick and then slows her up in the corner as Donovan battling for the Whale. But Julia Iafallo manages to take that puck away from her, pinching down from the right side was Doyle to contain it, but it's Casorso now for the Beauts, looking to make that first pass off the far boards, and too far for Iafallo, will get an icing as Doyle goes back for it.
You mentioned Chesson from The Ohio State University, 2014 Olympian and Isabel Cup champion with the Buffalo Beauts.
Yeah, there's still a fair number of those 2016-17 Cup winners, and then returning players. We talked about Janiga, Emily Falzer as well, so that experience definitely plays a factor in this game with 11:34 left to go, and it looks like we have a timeout being used, and Buffalo is going to use their timeout. You know, here's the thing. The Beauts are up 3-0. Rick Sealy and Craig Muni, those co-coaching pair, they never stop. And that's why they've been so successful for the last couple of years.
Absolutely, Phil. As you mentioned, 2 points. First is just always wanting to improve and get better. That is why, it has to be one of the reasons why, the Buffalo team is the only franchise to make every Isabel Cup final. They've been in every single one in 3 full seasons, now going to look for their 4th appearance in the Isabel Cup final. The second thing that you mentioned, Phil, a little earlier is the experience. We saw with the Metropolitan Riveters last season, they had an edge when it came to a team that was comfortable with their systems, with each other, and certainly with, at the time, head coach Chad Wiseman. That makes a difference in this league, Phil. 16 games long, not a very long preseason at all. And so any time that you can have your team on the ice and competing and training together, that's only going to bode well. We have seen that with the Beauts throughout their tenure, and certainly with the Riveters last season.
And now what we've seen with the Riveters, despite a lot of returning players, Chad Weissman now coaching back in Canada. Randy Belichick was a last-minute, almost literally last-minute addition as their head coach, trying to figure things out, putting new systems in place. A lot of new players as well, because there was some roster turnover. A couple of players won't be returning for a bit. Nie Dench, obviously, won't be back until after Election Day. So they're kind of trying to figure it out. You have a flight to Minnesota against a group of Whitecaps players. A lot of new faces on the team, but really they still have a lot of those returning, veteran players from that barnstorming Whitecaps group.
That's right. And then compare that to the Connecticut team that for the 2nd year in a row has really revamped their roster.
Different vibe here with Ryan Aquali going the international route. We haven't seen much in terms of systems changes. We'll see if that happens, as the point shot from the right side came through by Bolden, but it was blocked in front. Now a try by Zaleski, bouncing through the slot. Nicely played by Baraboo off the skate as she moves it to Taberi. Rink wide pass on the tape, finding Goldsmith across the line with a wrist shot, and Hensley makes the glove save as Goldsmith, I think, just trying to vie for an offensive zone draw. But it's interesting here because you have the international flair, but a lot of the women played in U.S. schools, so they probably have a bit of experience going with both types of styles.
Absolutely, and it's just a matter of, again, how is all of that going to come together in a very short season?
10:25 to go in this third period. 3-0 Beauts on top as the puck is tied up along the half boards ahead to the point. Little one-timer, ricocheted wide by Rusler. And lifted out of the zone by Corrine Bowie, finding Janiga, angling in. Janiga tried to toe drag the puck sitting there. Babcock wanted it, but Lowenjelm played it nicely. Couldn't get it out, though, as it's gloved down by Edney toward the point. Around the boards, Babcock muscles out along the near wing side. Babcock on the backhand trying to walk in. Pushes it back. Edney with a shot. Clanked off the post as Edney got it through. Edney back with it, left point. Lobs one that was redirected off of Rusler, and Rusler's going to go to the box, I think now. Penalty number 3 on Sydney Rusler. I think the fine might be in effect here.
Yeah.
After that, as she boarded Janiga, held her really, and then knocked her down with 9:42 to go in regulation, and we'll see the 5th power play for the Beauts coming up.
And you wonder, with as much time as the Connecticut team has spent, again, playing defense essentially, not very much with the puck possession. Some of these, are they mistakes? Are they being out-hustled, out-skated, or is it a bit of frustration? Either way, you're going to have to see Connecticut really clean that up, because they cannot afford, although they've been doing very well on the kill, you can't afford to have a team like a Beauts team, or moving forward to what Minnesota we've been able to see them do on even strength, let alone on a power play. The Whale are not going to be able to sustain that for the entire season, so they're going to have to figure that out.
So following the Rusler penalty, it'll be the 5th power play here for Buffalo, and well, they dropped the puck, and let's see what's going on here. Well, we had counting going on by the official. I think one of the refs might have thought there were too many skaters on the ice. The Whale have 4, the Beauts have 5. I think everything looks fine, but they'll re-drop the puck. And Ilya waved out of the circle for Corrine Bowie. I have follow out there as well with Scamora and Bolden. So Bolden, the lone D in this power play group, as it's deflected out by Sam Donovan. She joins Fluke up front along with Hannah Beatty, and rounding out the group is Kim Tabiri, or check that, Shannon Doyle. So Rusler to the box for slashing at 10:18 of this third period, as the Whale get it back and sent through by Doyle. Hensley settles it down, heard some footsteps as it's played back around on the far side for Scamora. Scamora out to the neutral zone and across the line, holding from the side. Worked on by Orlando. Back to Ilya, who has 2 of the 3 goals. Scamora with the other, and it's Haley Scamora with it now to Corrine Bowie with a rocket, and it was off target. Back out to the blue line for Bolden. Now down the boards. To Bolden again. Wrist shot to Iafallo. Cross-ice pass through the crease. Ilya there, back straight away, and now moving to the left is Bolden. Forced down to the corner after it was nearly poked out of the zone by Goldsmith. 50 seconds remaining in the Rusler penalty. Well, with some good work along the boards, but Ilya able to power the puck behind the net. Goldsmith there, got it ahead to Fluke. She barely did just deflect that puck out to center, and it falls her back with it. Over to Ilya. Well, now in the neutral zone, the Beauts playing with it as they go back into their own end, and Falzer will start the breakout, moving it ahead to Cameronese. Now to Babcock, 2-on-1. It is Babcock walking to the slot, tries to wade out, and the shot was pushed just a little bit wide as Rysanen stacked the pads and didn't give her the bottom half. Now it's Babcock again, and that shot gets blocked. And here's Falzer with it as time ticks away on that power play, down to 10. Harmon gets away from Baraboo. Cameronese from the side. Threads the needle down low. Janiga had it briefly. Hacked away from her. Cameronese is there. Whale 5 for 5 on the kill as Falzer makes a nice move. Walks around Donovan. Goes to the slot, then gets knocked down, and the Whale get a huge clear. And the puck is stopped for an icing, and then Lowenjelm goes down and falls hard in the corner, but pops back up and appears to be okay.
See Loewenjelm really trying to get down there on the ice as the power play was ticking down. Unable to beat out the Beauts there, though.
7:29 to go in this third period. 3-0 Beauts on top of the Whales. The faceoff will be to the left of Mira Räisänen, but it will be the Whale using their timeout. So likewise, we saw the Beauts use their timeout following an icing, and now the Whale doing likewise.
And I wanted to just go back to, you know, Miri Räisänen again, looking pretty good. I think she'd want to fix a few things from her debut performance, but she was able to deny Kelly Babstock. So at least for now, Phil, the drought for this debut for Kelly Babstock as a member of the Buffalo Beauts continues.
So as we get set to wrap up the first week of play in the NWHL this season, the Whale congregate once again, and they will huddle up as they've done at every break and timeout for a little bit of team building. And you can hear Emily Fluke, the new captain of this Connecticut team, just her second year, but catapulted herself into veteran status right away.
That's right, and you know, she's got some heavy shoes to fill, or should I say vocal cords, with Anya Bartolino no longer on the bench. She can get pretty loud, so I guess Flukey's going to have to take that over.
Oh, Anya, the director of the Players Association for the league, I saw her tweet earlier. She had both games up, watching Minnesota and the Riveters, and then viewing this one as well. And a lot of NW fans are doing the same thing on a Sunday afternoon, watching both games, which started at the same time.
I'm sure she has us on audio, though, so hey, Anya.
We'll see if we get a tweet out if she was watching us. Ooh, nice move by Sharon, trying to walk a pass across, and never did get to Sam Donovan at the doorstep. Under 7 minutes to play in regulation. Whale down 3-0. Shannon Doyle up the boards to Sharon. Got stood up by her teammate Fluke trying to come across. And it's Julia Iafallo looking for the cutting Jordan Churon. Now Casorso takes it deep on Tiberi. Kim Tiberi, the rookie, was paired on the top line with Sydney Rusler. And she's out there on the ice right now with Elena Orlando. As Ryan Aquali working 5 defenders here late in this game. Loewenjelm been skating up as a forward here in the third period. And now it's chipped out of the zone by Emily Fluke with 6:18 to go. And icing gets waved off. Taken by Emily Falzer. And it's interesting watching her with just the A on the sweater. She was the captain for seasons 1 and 2 when she was in Beauts Baby Blue. But after returning, just an alternate. They haven't gone with an official captain yet for this group.
That's right. All A's across the board. A very studious group of leadership here. You've got Haley Skamura, who we've mentioned, Emily Falzer, and Corrine Bowie, who served as captain last year. And want to give a shout out to the 2017-18 captain of the Connecticut Whales, Sam Faber, announced her retirement.
So now Strictly and a turnover. Here comes Cameronese on the breakaway. Got it pushed wide. Räisänen stands tall. Might have gotten a little tip on that as it remains a 3-0 game with 5:43 to go. Cameronese again. Looking in front. Elia trying to set up for the hat trick and had her stick lifted by Baraboo. Back to Cameronese. To the slot. Fanned on by Skamora, and the puck comes all the way down. Long play ahead by Hensley. And now Skamora will deflect it in. Sydney Rusler will play the dump in behind her net. 5:18 to go in the third period. Now it's Elena Orlando. Looks up the boards for Anderson. Gap quickly closed, taken by Bolden. Activating from the blue line, pinching down. Good puck movement back to the blue line. Here's Savannah Harmon. Harmon's looked fantastic, by the way, in her first NWHL game. 2 titles with Clarkson. Now the shot by Bowie, blocked in front, sat there in the crease, whipped to the boards by Orlando, pushed back down by Harmon. And now Orlando there in behind, around to the far wing corner for Rusler. Lobbed ahead, glove down, here's Bolden, got stood up, chipped it to the right, and Janiga will have to settle it down on the right, look to center a feed, it was stolen. Now Schwenzfire, 1-on-2. Poked away, well done by Harmon, and she gathers it back up deep in her zone with 4:25 to play. Through the neutral zone, it's Harmon. Great puck handling, Harmon. Walks in front, got pushed aside, well done by the veteran Doyle. Gets it ahead to Fluke, pushed down the boards, but gathered back up by Casorso with 4:10 remaining. Casorso out to center ice. Skates in across the line from the circle, the shot. Bouncing puck save, rebound, put it on net. Another stop by Rysanen after a hard whack at it by Annika Zaleski. And now pinching is Juron. Tied up along the boards. Play to the slot by Zaleski, but gathered back up. Well to the center line and sent down. Along the near wing. Played ahead for Juron. Off the skate of Annika Zaleski. Poked away. And now lifted. Juron was trying to cherry pick a bit at center ice, but we'll get an icing called with 3:27 remaining in the third. Make it 3:26. Beauts up 3-0.
And Phil, I'll take this moment out to give Sam Faber, a special shout out. She tried to call us out for not mentioning her, but we got you, Sam. We got you. Everyone gets a little time.
Did she call you out before you said something, or after and she just missed out on it?
Before, and then she reneged her tweet, so we're all good.
There we go. Coach Sam helped my daughter start skating a little over a year ago, gave her first private lessons, and now my little one's playing hockey, so
there you go.
And she adores Coach Sam very much. As the puck out at center ice, skipped by Sarah Houston, 3 minutes to go. Scamora skating in across the line, finds some room, walks in front, pass looking for Ilya, and she scores with 2:53 to go. In the third period, it's 4-0 Buffalo. And let's see, Scamora leading away. She might have scored that herself. I thought Ilya, sitting at the top of the crease, might have had a piece. It looks like 2 goals apiece for Scamora and Ilya today.
Honestly, it could have been anyone there, Phil. We weren't really sure what was happening. I don't think either team did until they looked over to the officials. But 4-0, the Beauts are making a statement in this game, that's for sure.
It is Scamora's goal. And again, an unassisted goal for Haley Scamora. She made an amazing individual effort just to work that puck down. And now it's Cameronese, who has a couple of assists in this game. She wants one. She wants a goal. Gets it around to Ilya with 2:25 to go. Back to Scamora in the corner. Around now, Cameronese.
Yeah, it only stands to reason, Phil. You know, her Liney's over here have got 2 goals apiece. She wants in on that.
You're like, where's mine? Like, I scored 3 in the Olympics. I should be able to get one here on an afternoon like this. But she's played a good game. Everyone has, really, for Buffalo. Hard to single out just 1 or 2 standouts from this roster. So are they is that last goal? It's 14. And it's going to be Scamora from Blake Bolden. So Bolden on that second Scamora goal does get a point. Her first in the NWHL this season. 1:35 to play in regulation. 4-0 Buffalo. The shot's unofficially 37-9. Janiga, pass in front. And the shot denied. That was Casorso coming to the top of the crease. Back to Harmon from the right side. Give and go with Janiga. Donovan strips her with 1:15 to play. Now behind the net, Babstock. To Beery there for the Whale. Here's Janiga left side. Lost it. Emily Fluke looks up ice. Lobs the puck ahead. Finds Sheeran. Across the line, Sheeran from straight on. Put a weak shot in on Hensley. Makes a save to the corner. Oh, and a body check out along the left wing side. Fluke got dinged up by Kelly Babstock. No penalty called with 50 seconds to play. And it's Orlando along the near side, looking up ice. So it appears that Nicole Hensley in her maiden voyage in the NWHL is going to pick up a shutout, the former Lindenwood and Team USA gold medalist. 33 seconds remaining. Orlando dropping it back off for Doyle. Facing the forecheck by Iafallo. Beauts are not taking their foot off the gas here in the final minute of play. Barabo out to the center line. Drives it in cross ice to the corner. Sarah Houston centered in front. Hensley stops it with her stick with 14 to go. Puck lobbed off the glass. Juron gets it out to the neutral zone. Tracked down by Rusler. Delta backhanded out of the zone. Goldsmith able to do so with 2 seconds to go, and the horn will sound. That does it. Here in Stamford, Connecticut, the Buffalo Beauts behind a shutout from Nicole Hensley and 2 goals apiece by Maddie Ilya and Haley Scamora. The 2 returning leading scorers from a season ago. They defeat the Whale by a final of 4-0.
Overall, good game, good team effort by the Buffalo Beauts. Hensley looks like we have unofficially, at least for now, that she faced less than 10 shots on goal, but she was a very active goalie, Phil.
Playing the dump-ins, playing the puck behind the net, trying to move it for sure, absolutely. Was doing that throughout the game, making that first pass when she needed to.
That's right.
From behind the goal.
You also called out Harmon. I think Harmon, we saw Bolden do what, unfortunately, the Connecticut defensive core and really just overall were unable to do, and that's really be able to not only move the puck effectively, but also be aggressive at the right times. And so this is a Connecticut team, as we mentioned. They've had a lot of turnover. They have a few things that they're going to have to draw up, but Meri Räisänen made her debut. I mean, I've said it a few times already, but I think she had, you know, a very good debut on her side as well.
You know, she really did, and she was the number 3 star of the game. You don't often see a goaltender that gives up 4 goals as a 3rd star, but if you think of her play, especially in that second period, she kept the Whale in this contest to be down only 2 going into the 3rd. That's on the back of Räisänen. She really was splendid tonight. You look at the goals in the 3rd period. In fact, you look at all the goals that were scored. You know, one was a backdoor on a rebound that she just wasn't able to get to. Ilya's first goal, Scamora's first goal, just amazing individual efforts. And then the second Scamora goal, just a massive humanity out in front, whacking away. And it was Scamora, the last one, to kind of tip that in. And, you know, it's hard to really, you know, blame Räisänen for those goals tonight. Think about the fact that she showed up here late this week, you know, had 1 practice, a little bit of skating time yesterday with Coach Ryan Aquali, who apparently didn't shoot the puck hard enough for Räisänen's taste. She said, shoot it harder. Ryan Aquali's like, that's as hard as I can shoot. And he's, you know, former NCAA college standout many years ago, but he can shoot the puck, and, you know, she wanted more. Well, she got it today from Buffalo, you know, trial by fire in the NWHL. I would imagine with regular rest and a regular schedule, you know, she's going to be even better, and she was darn good tonight.
And that's what we'll hope to see overall, is just the entire team, especially once we integrate those players not yet with the team, see the Connecticut team just continue to improve and elevate their game. They were able to do that to an extent last year. I think maybe hit a little bit of a plateau towards the end there, so that'll be something to keep an eye out, and we'll see what kind of buttons Ryan Aquali is going to press from here on out.
Well, he'll have a chance to relive this one during the course of the weekend with practice, and these 2 teams will play again at Harbor Center on the 13th. That's next Saturday. If you are up at Harper Center, I'm sure you'll enjoy the game up in Buffalo. If not, you'll be able to watch the game on all NWHL games or broadcasts, either on Twitter or on YouTube. So, you know, check the website for viewing, and you will see that coming up next Saturday, and should hopefully be a good one, and perhaps we'll see the Whale bounce back next week.
We sure hope so, and it'll be a while before we get to see them here again, but looking forward to being back with you, Phil, for
Absolutely.
This season.
Well, I won't see you until the end of December. The next home game here at Terry Connors is December 30th, so I will be here with you for that, but we'll be watching from afar as the Whale have a lengthy road trip with a neutral site game in early December in Pittsburgh against the Metropolitan Riveters. So, yeah, they come back every week, but you say, oh, it's a 6-game road trip, or, you know, quite a long time away from home.
That's right.
In terms of gameplay for the Connecticut Whale. So this next stretch really could determine how their season ends up.
Absolutely. I will, though, be there for that neutral site game along with Matt Falkenberry. So we'll have some Connecticut Whale broadcast representation in Pittsburgh.
Fantastic. We'll have you carry it for that afternoon as the Whale and the Riveters will be battling Pittsburgh. That game usually does very well. And that'll do it here from Terry Connors Rink in Stamford. For my partner, Eric Ayala, I'm Phil Jubileo. Once again, your final score. It was Buffalo 4, the Connecticut Whale nothing, and you've been watching the NWHL. Have a great Sunday, everybody.